Welcome to an Introduction to Inventing. This program was created for students participating in the Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fairs as a classroom teaching aid or for individual instruction. The information is appropriate for all grade levels. Adult support will be beneficial for the younger students. Just like a book is organized by chapters, this program is divided into several sections, each section beginning with a red slide showing what the topic of the section will be. You are encouraged to have discussions of what you learn in each section and to use additional resources to help you expand on the limited information provided. Invention affects every aspect of our lives, from the time we get up in the morning to when we go to sleep, and even while we sleep. Our country's founding fathers created the American patent system, which was signed into law in 1790, just as the Constitution and Bill of Rights provides protection to all citizens of the United States. Our patent system gives every person the opportunity to benefit from his or her own ideas. The invention becomes the property of the inventor if an idea meets the basic requirements allowing it to be patented. Just like owning a home or land, the inventor owns the rights to the invention. Anyone wishing to use the invention must first have permission of the inventor. This is how an inventor can make money from his or her idea. This gave all Americans the chance to become successful and to help America become the world's greatest nation. This program will walk you through the steps of the invention process, from generating meaningful ideas, finding out if it's original, considering how to protect your idea, how to make it to prove that it really works, ways that you might consider manufacturing your idea, different ways to market the idea, how to profit from it all, and how you might raise money to help do all this. You can learn to invent. It is a process each of us can learn if we choose to. Remember these 10 two-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. If you recognize a problem, you have the opportunity to try to solve it. And if you do solve it, you have the potential to profit from the solution. Or you can just walk away from the problem and leave the opportunity to somebody else. You may unknowingly be a person who makes a major contribution that will affect the lives of everyone and even every living thing on this planet. Along the way, you will learn about and come to appreciate people like yourself who became extraordinary through their creativity, who learn how to make the most of their ideas or help others realize theirs. It all starts with one person. Walt Disney knew it and he shared it. He said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." So how can you be the person who makes a difference, who helps to improve life as we know it? Take one step at a time. Each one of you has the ability to learn, to be creative, and to make it happen. Ideas are useless unless they are nurtured. Ideas can grow into inventions, and inventions change the course of history. The invention process can be a very exciting journey, but to be successful at anything you decide to take on, it's very important to remember Being honest, having integrity, and being trustworthy is very important. Treat people the way you want to be treated. So keep in mind, if you're faced with a problem and you walk away from it, it never gets solved. If you have a problem and you come up with a solution, it may be a great idea. So let's get started. How do you invent something? Brainstorm by yourself or with others and generate a bunch of ideas that solve problems. From this group of ideas, select one that you believe to be unique or original. Keep in mind, this idea should be useful, meaningful, and safe to use. Do the research. It is your task to try to uncover whether or not someone else already claims this idea. Can you think of places to check to see if the idea already exists? Students doing science projects may find their research leads to new inventions. This research may prove very important when you go to patent your invention. Think about materials your invention can be made of. Will it be very simple to make and use, or very complex, requiring a big commitment of your time, your energy, and money? Will the people it is meant to help be able to afford it? There are steps to help you create ideas. Pay attention. Be observant to things around you. Use all your 5 senses. We'll address this more later. Capture your ideas. Record them or write them down. Don't let them get away from you. Ideas can come and go, and when they go, you may never get them back again. Brainstorm with other people. Work on problems and their solutions. That's the way ideas are generated. Small steps can lead to big changes. Sometimes looking at smaller ways to solve a problem lead to bigger changes down the road. A funny thing happens when you pay attention and turn on your creative thinking. Your mind can go on autopilot. Solutions to problems pop into your head. This can happen when you're sleeping or daydreaming. It can even happen suddenly and unexpectedly, in an instant. A eureka moment. What is odd about this picture? Study the legs and the feet in particular on this elephant. There's something pretty strange going on here. The feet are not where they're supposed to be. If you look at the legs represented by the X's and follow them down to the bottom, there are no feet attached to the legs. The feet are drawn in the spaces between the legs. Remember, things are not always what they appear to be. What our eyes really see and what our brains want us to see may be two entirely different things. Ideas are often generated by people who see things differently. Okay, here's your next challenge. Try connecting these 9 dots with 4 continuous straight lines. So there is no break in the line at all. It's all continuous. Think outside the box. That's pretty cool. Remember, you need to let your mind expand beyond what your eyes might actually see. This is a good time to repeat those 10 two-letter words that can be very meaningful if you're an inventor. If it is to be, it is up to. Whether you are a student, parent, or teacher, a banker, football player, doctor, nurse, secretary, astronaut, mechanic, truck driver, you get the idea? It all starts with you. The simple clothes hanger is a very good representative of an invention that has been innovated on many, many times. Can you think of different ways that it's been improved on? There's the simple clothes hanger that just holds a shirt. There's another that has a bar across the bottom that can hold both pants and a shirt. There's a swivel hook that allows you to turn the hanger so that all the collars of the shirts face the same direction. You can add a bar across the bottom that holds the pants from slipping. Or you can place clips at different locations on the hanger to secure a dress or pants from slipping. Or maybe just hang accessories on. Each one is a helpful innovation. Can you think of other items with innovations? How about paper clips? How about the different types of tools like hammers and pliers? What about bags and boxes? Even the simple drinking straw has been innovated on in many different ways. Can you think of different ways? Remember, ideas pop into our minds anytime, anywhere. Preserve them, write them down, or record them right away. If you do, you'll capture your idea for a lifetime. You won't even have to work on it right away. You can collect all your ideas in a folder and review them on a rainy day. People are curious. We want to know about traveling and living in outer space, about all living things around us, about what makes us healthy and sick, about improving what we do each and every day. Successful inventors remember all of these things, and they're observant, they're inquisitive or curious, thoughtful, they're prepared, they're helpful and determined. They're not limited by boundaries. Earlier, we mentioned your five senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. Let's put them to work. A blind person reads with his or her fingers using what invention? Braille. This invention uses the sense of touch to compensate for the loss of sight. We take a lot for granted. What if you couldn't hear? How would you wake up in the morning with an alarm clock? An 11th grade student that could not hear invented a pillow that vibrates on a timer. Pretty cool. Problems lead to invention. Necessity is the mother of invention. Experiencing difficulties leads to new solutions. Consider having arthritis in your hands and trying to button your blouse or shirt, buckle your belt, or tie your shoelaces. To mimic this difficulty, put on a pair of gloves and then try to do those same simple things. Try the catch it technique. Look for something that goes right when you did not expect it to. Stay alert to changes. Demographics involve the study of different population groups. Groups may be looked at by age, by location, by political affiliation, by health, or maybe by what you eat. If you pay attention to demographics, you will uncover many ideas that can help solve the needs of particular groups. Pay attention to and mimic nature. Velcro was developed from observing how hitchhiker weeds, with their thousands and thousands of little hooks, stuck to clothing. The inventor mimicked this and created Velcro. Many airplanes and jets were designed by observing the different body and wing shapes of flying birds. Careful observation leads to discoveries. You may even help nature. Baby sea turtles hatch from their nest on the beach, and before they can get to the water, oftentimes get eaten. A student just like you built a protective cover for the turtle nest on the beach, and then developed a long tube that guides the turtle hatchlings safely to the water. It's worth paying attention to unexpected events. Could you help improve the outcome? It rains suddenly and unexpectedly. What does that bring to mind? Your umbrella turns inside out in the wind, and you get soaking wet. What can you do? Drivers do not see the traffic sign with heavy rains or fog. Is there something you can help out with? Can you think of an idea that helps people better obey the laws that require us to reduce the pollution of our rivers? Like only fertilizing your yard at certain times of the year. And what about feeding wild animals like alligators and dolphin and bear? That's against the law. Do you know why? How can we help people understand that better? Recycling is becoming more and more important. There's only so much to go around before we use it all up. Technology is growing very fast. Space travel does not allow the traveler to shop for supplies. Where does new food come from? There's very little to no room for garbage. What are we going to do with broken equipment? The answer lies in recycling. The same concerns that would be on a spaceship are just like those of our planet Earth. Our Earth travels through space, just on a bigger scale. We must become better at caring for Earth's resources. Help to come up with new ideas. Again, take small steps. They can lead to big changes. Pay attention to what people need. Tools that help people continue to do things for themselves as they get older. Learning what foods are healthy and making them taste better so people want to eat them when they don't taste so good to begin with. Still struggling to find a problem? It's right in front of you every day. Check out the local, state, national, or international news. There are problems like polluted waters from agricultural crops, technological advances like looking at the world through Google Glass, alternative energy transportation, tools to fight crime, exploring the atmosphere on the moon, and watching the weather, all from one day of news. You really can help. Figure out the problem, think about solutions, choose the best solution, and come up with an affordable way to make the best solution available to all. You can do it by yourself, you can do it with the help of others, and you can brainstorm and figure out problems to begin with and solutions to work on. And if you're still having problems coming up with an idea, you can look at something that exists, and if you can improve on it by some of these steps, consider substitutions, combinations, adaptations, resizing, rearranging, reversing, eliminating, or putting to other uses that were not originally intended. Now let's focus on protecting your ideas. To get more information on how to protect your intellectual property or ideas, you should check with the U.S. Patent Office, also the Trademark Office and Copyright Office. Why don't you look up the difference between patents, trademarks, and copyrights? It's important to distinguish between them. You can find answers on the World Wide Web or at the uspto.gov itself. There are several kinds of intellectual property protection. They can protect the function or design of an idea, and that includes patents. It can protect written works or illustrations, paintings, in the form of trademarks and copyrights. Please note that trademarks can be denoted by a capital TM as a superscript or an R in a circle, which means registered trademark. Copyrights can be denoted with a C in a circle, followed by the year, and preceded by the name of the individual who is copywriting. The invention process requires keeping track of the progress and the failures that you make with your invention. This is referred to as your logbook. It is your invention diary. It contains the dates, names of individuals that are working with you, that you credit for their help, the research that you perform, and the progress, whether it's positive or negative. Each page is witnessed so that you have an ongoing accounting of accurate dates and times that you performed various experiments or research. This becomes very important as a tool to prove the work that you've done and the early dates of your performing this work. If another person claims they came up with the invention, your logbook may be the only thing that provides you with the ability to claim you did it first. The invention prototype will help you get people excited about your invention. How you will do this will depend on the type of material your invention is made of. You can build it from scratch or by modifying existing products. If it is too complex to build, you can use a good illustration to get your point across. The newest way to create prototypes is by 3D printing. First, you create a three-dimensional computer drawing. If you print this on your computer printer, it would appear in 2 dimensions, having length and width. Special printers now enable the third dimension, height, to be printed. This can be expensive, but prices are dropping as this technology improves. So much, though, that home models are beginning to appear on the market. Objects made of plastics, metals, and even living cells can be 3D printed. It is very important to become knowledgeable about an industry your product fits into. The more you know, the more convincing you will become when you introduce your product to investors. Manufacturers will respect you more if you appreciate the challenges of large-scale production. Most important, the decisions you make will be based on a better understanding of the costs of bringing your product to market. When deciding whether or not an idea is worthwhile working on, consider what Thomas Edison said. He would not invent anything he could not sell. You become an entrepreneur when you sell your invention. Taking your invention to market requires many steps. Protecting your intellectual property with a patent and using trademarks, copyrights, or trade secrets will cost thousands of dollars. Producing large numbers of your invention will require an understanding of cost-effective manufacturing methods. How and where will customers buy your product? These are all questions that you need to become aware of before you seek out money. Before you can market your product, you have to put a price on it. If you wish to profit from all of your hard work and time involved in this process, you must develop an accurate appreciation of how much the product will cost to make, including responsible packaging so that you minimize and prevent breakage, you minimize storage space, and you also avoid adding to the pollution problem with waste. How will you generate consumer interest in your product? And what form or advertising will be most cost-effective and successful in reaching the right audience? In order to sell your product, you need to understand what markets it will sell in. What are the different types of markets that you have to consider? There's door-to-door sales, selling by phone, selling in stores, or through catalogs, or over the internet, or by direct mail. Can you think of any other forms of marketing? When you market your invention, you need to be able to display it, and this can be done depending upon the space allowed. If you have a small space, you may have to make a smaller model. If the space allows and your invention is very small, it may make sense to create a larger model to attract attention and understanding of what you have. But if you don't have the space, you may have to use a drawing, a photo, or potentially an action video to show how your invention is being used. In deciding the best way to market your product, think of yourself as an advertiser, making an ad for TV or the internet, or an ad for a newspaper, magazine, or catalog, or even a store display. One of the challenges you're going to be facing is how to finance all of this. Where does the money come from? Careful thought must be given to how you're going to pay for the developing, protecting, producing, and marketing of your invention. Younger students should begin to think about where this money comes from. Older students should become familiar with what's referred to as the business plan or the entrepreneurial roadmap. There are several ways that you can fund the development and sales of your invention. You can tap into your personal savings, or you can offer a piece of the action to your family, relatives, or friends. Banks can provide loans as long as you meet their requirements and are willing to pay the loan back in a specific period of time and with interest for using their money. New business opportunities can attract money from various types of professional investors. Investor groups will risk their money for a worthwhile return on their investment. The better you prepare yourself, the more likely you will be to be able to acquire the funds. And who knows, from the knowledge you gain from inventing, you may become an investor yourself. So let's look at raising money. If you have to ask for money in the form of loans or investment funds, you will need to convince investors of the value of your invention. Entrepreneurs invest in ideas with the goal of making profits. They do not want to lose their money. You also need a business plan to convince investors that they can make a worthwhile profit in this venture. Just remember, never take any money without it being very clear about how you're going to pay it back and what you have to give in return for being able to use it. Binding contracts are drawn up for this very purpose. It's worth taking a look at what business options you have. You could license your intellectual property so that you get a royalty or a percentage of the product when it is sold. Or you could sell the intellectual property outright for a larger amount of money and be done with it, turning your business over to the development by others. You also have the option to create a new business. This is where a good education in school and in the workplace will pay off. Make the most of your time in school. Never stop learning. A business plan can be a simple one-page overview or a very detailed, lengthy report covering as much as you can share about the business. First, you need to capture the attention of the business person or persons reviewing it. Provide an accurate vision of what the business aims to accomplish. Do not exaggerate. Just be realistic and truthful. As a general principle, it takes about 3 years to get a business up and running successfully to the point where investors wish to take their profits and move on. It is your goal to lay out the roadmap that can be used to start the process. The business plan is a work in progress. It is subject to change. You make an honest effort to provide accurate information based on the information available to you. You cannot know how the economy may change or if the competition will present new challenges. Divide up the business plan in sections and focus on one section at a time. Ask for help from knowledgeable resources like the small business development centers or private parties who may have the experience to help you. Important lessons to learn are just to make the effort. Take it in small steps. Investors must believe in you as well as your invention if they are going to risk their own money. Honesty, integrity, and trustworthiness will help you fulfill the pursuit of successful inventing. Treat others as you would wish to be treated yourself. Have you noticed? Everything you learn in the invention process provides you with a look at many occupations and job opportunities you may find in the future. Invention expands your horizons by introducing you to a wide range of opportunities to grow your career and give you flexibility in the job market. It can provide you with an understanding of how business is done. So let's quickly summarize what we've been talking about. Ideas pop into our minds anytime, anywhere. Preserve them. Write them down or record them right away so you don't lose them. It's worth remembering those 10 two-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. Understanding the process of invention can help you be successful and have more fun at whatever you choose to do in your lifetime. And because of you and others like you, there will be unlimited energy sources in the future, food for everyone, more cures for health problems, recycling of everything, helpful robots everywhere, healthy rivers and oceans, a healthy planet. If you need help, and most everyone does, there are many resources to choose from the internet to articles, magazines, and books. There are organizations like the Edison Inventors Association and the Entrepreneur Society of Naples, the Small Business Development Center at FGCU. And you can network with fellow students, teachers, your parents, and business people in the community. Be respectful of the time you ask from business people. Prepare as well as you can and have questions prepared ahead of time. Finally, give credit for any help you receive. Make notations in your logbook and have the people you talk to witness that information by dating and signing their name as proof of their assistance. And now it's your turn. To really be successful, you will need to be truthful to yourself and to others. Honesty, integrity, and trustworthiness will help you to fulfill your pursuit of successful inventing. Treat others as you would wish to be treated yourself. So why go through all of this? Why involve you in the invention process? What's so beneficial about it? Edward Schlesinger's quote helps to pull it all together. He said, "It is important to recognize the entire story of civilization is based on invention. Invention is historically one of the strongest driving forces in human affairs. If children can comprehend invention, they can better understand the past and the present and predict the future more reliably." The program is actually now concluded. The remaining slides are just for fun. What we need to learn is not how to slow down change, but how to speed up solutions. Yesterday, Forrest Bird, a World War I pilot, invented pressurized flight suits and assisted breathing equipment so pilots could fly over 28,000 feet without passing out. He was so interested in this field, he went to medical school and became an inventive doctor. Today, a stroke victim, unable to communicate and surviving with the respiratory assistance of the forest bird respirator, the pilot from the previous slide, can now communicate by using a brain-implanted computer chip to help move a cursor across a screen to convey simple messages. 85% of the technology we use today is very likely to be obsolete 10 years from now. Much of the technology we will use in the year 2020 has not even been invented yet. The generation of new information is being acquired so quickly that more information has been produced in the last 30 years than in the previous 5,000 years. The world's information is doubling every 2.5 years. See if you can follow this slide. 1,024 bytes equals 1 kilobyte. 1 megabyte equals 1,024 kilobytes. A gigabyte is equivalent to 1,024 megabytes. A terabyte is equal to 1,024 gigabytes. A petabyte is the equivalent of 1,024 terabytes. Exabyte equals 1,024 petabytes. A zettabyte is the equivalent of 1,024 exabytes. And a yottabyte equals 1,024 zettabytes. Materials will be designed at a molecular level to make them lighter, stronger, and more flexible. And we can create whatever qualities we desire in these materials using nanotechnology. Genetic mapping will bring on the golden age of biology, provided for medical miracles through the use of genomics. And there will be new replenishable energy sources, total recyclability, domestic robots, and husbandry of the oceans. Did you know the human brain registers over 36,000 images an hour? Our eyes take in 3 million bits of information per second. Our brains are estimated to do 20 million billion calculations per second. Inspiring music empowers the brain. All this information you've just heard can be overwhelming, but consider this. You can earn a scholarship to a local university or college. These scholarships are awarded to students who excel in their knowledge and presentation of the invention and entrepreneurial process. You have the opportunity. Just remember, start small and build upon that knowledge. Good luck, and thank you for listening.